Hello, I am Assistant Professor Padma Deshpande from SST College of Arts and Commerce. Today, I am going to talk on the topic Logistics and Supply Chain Management. This is a compulsory subject of SEM 5 for TYBMS. So let's begin. I'm going to talk basically on Module 1, what are the topics and contents that are going to be covered. So according to the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals, logistics is a part of the supply chain process, which basically is involved in planning, implementing and controlling of all the activities, correlated activities, which involves the flow of goods and services and also the reverse flow of goods and services, that is from the manufacturer to the customers and in certain cases from the customers back to the manufacturers. So basically it is concerned with all the activities from the point of origin to the point of consumption in order to meet the customers' requirements. So basically in logistics there are 5 components that are involved. The first is the supplier or the manufacturer. Then from there it goes to the production. From the supplier, the goods, the raw materials go to the production unit. From there it goes to the warehousing. From the warehousing it is transferred to the, with the help of transportation, it is transferred to all the supply chain participants, that is the wholesalers, retailers, and then from there it is transferred to the customers. So basically meeting the needs of the customer is the basic purpose of any logistics and supply chain activity. Now, logistics has originated from the Greek word logistike, which means movement and storage, because transportation helps in movement as well as transportation acts as a temporary storage facility for all the goods and services. Initially, this word logistics actually originated from the military operations. Logistics is primarily concerned with providing support services to the military operations, like when the army and the troops are placed in remote places. So the provision of food and other supplies to them is a part of logistics. So from this logistics concept basically originated from the military operation. It implies the movement of men and other physical resources that is required during the war time. As I told you, there are different elements of logistics. The first element is the transportation. Then we have the warehousing, we have inventory management. Logistics also involves material handling, because the goods have to be handled properly. They have to be delivered damage free to the customers. So material handling is also a part of logistics. Similarly, packaging is also a part and parcel of logistics, and the most important aspect is the flow of the information, because from the point of origin to the point of consumption there has to be flow of information as to requirement. Like when the manufacturer needs raw material, he has to communicate to the suppliers, to the vendors. They have to supply the raw material at proper time to the manufacturer. Then he can do the production activity. Then this finished goods have to be transferred to the warehouses. From the warehouses, according to the different supply chain partners requirement, the goods have to be delivered to the agents, the wholesalers, the retailers, the distributors, and from there, according to the requirement of the customer, these goods are transferred to various outlets. So these are the basic aspects of logistics or elements of logistics. Now logistics also involves an internal logistics as well as the external logistics. Now internal logistics basically covers the point of origin and point of consumption from the manufacturer, from the supplier to the manufacturer. That is, when the manufacturer wants to produce any goods, he would require raw materials. He would require he would be requiring raw materials plus other inputs to convert that goods into final products. So the internal logistics basically comprises of here the point of consumption is the suppliers and the point of consumption becomes the manufacturing plant. The point of origin becomes the suppliers who supplies the raw material, and the point of consumption becomes the manufacturer. And in case of finished goods, the point of origin will be the manufacturing plant where the goods and services are being produced, where the goods are being produced, they are being converted into finished goods. From there it goes to the distribution warehouses. From the warehouses it goes to the point of consumption, that is the actual customers through the retailers. So there are that is why we say internal logistics and external logistics. In internal logistics, it is from the suppliers to the manufacturing plant, and in the external logistics, it is concerned with the flow of goods and information from the manufacturer to the ultimate users, that is the customers. This also involves after sales services which the dealers or the distributors are supposed to deliver to the customers. Now, for any logistical activity to be successful, it is very important that in the planning stage, the network is finalized. That is, what would be the raw material requirement at any given point of time, what would be the number of warehouses for the finished goods that would be required, what are the different modes of transportation that is required, what are the different inventory control systems that we can adopt so that we do not have over inventory or under inventory. There is no overstocking or understocking and loss of money due to inventory, that because inventory means blockage of working capital, so that should at never given point of time happen. So for that, effective planning is required. Once the planning is done, the next stage becomes the implementation stage. In the implementation stage, any company has to plan about the manpower, the capital, the machinery requirement, technology requirement. I would like to now emphasize on the inbound logistics and outbound logistics. In inbound logistics, it is within the production unit. I have tried to classify it. I have tried to give you the differences between inbound logistics and outbound logistics. So in inbound logistics, it is all the goods and services production takes place within the production unit. It is mainly concerned with sourcing and receiving materials within the manufacturing unit, and here the interaction takes place between the suppliers or the vendors and the manufacturing unit. In inbound logistics, all the pre-production activities takes place, and it is also called as upstream logistics, wherein carriage inwards is involved. This is as comparatively less costlier than outbound logistics. In outbound logistics, there is packaging involved and transportation is involved, and it is primarily concerned with the distribution of the final goods to the consumers. It is mainly concerned with all the distribution channels. Distribution channels, we have wholesalers, retailers, distributors, agents, all are involved, and it also involves customer service. So here the interaction takes place with the ultimate customers, and it is we call it as post-production activities, because it is after the goods are produced, it is being distributed to the customers. That is why we call it as post-production activities. It is more costly because it involves a number of other allied activities such as transportation, insurance, warehousing, packaging. All these allied activities are part and parcel of outbound logistics. That's why it is a costly affair. Now, logistics has certain functions. First function that logistics primarily requires is demand forecasting. Demand forecasting is basically we are trying to analyze what be the future requirement, how the transportation needs to be done, what are the warehousing facilities that needs to be arranged, material handling, packaging, inventory, insurance, customer service. All these aspects are covered under the logistical functions. Why logistics is important? Because it is the backbone of any trade and business. Without logistics, none of the business can survive during any emergency contingency time. It is logistics that primarily plays an important role of placement of men, material, goods and services from one place to another. So it and the more the logistical services are good, the more better customer services you are offering, the company would have a more competitive advantage. It helps you in generating revenue, because the more services you provide to the customers, you will be able to do more business, and this will lead to more revenues. With the movement of goods and services, when there is continuous flow of goods and services, flow of information, what happens is the inventory cost also gets reduced, transportation cost gets reduced, warehousing cost gets reduced, and it plays a primary role, especially during contingencies, war times, even during droughts, floods, and any kind of emergency situations. Now, logistics primarily has three main important performance cycle. It is called as the procurement performance cycle, manufacturing support performance cycle, and physical distribution performance cycle. Now, this helps in gaining competency for the organization. So in procurement performance cycle, all the aspects such as resource planning, supply sourcing, placement of order, then the transportation that is required for bringing the goods, raw material from the supplier to the manufacturing unit, its proper storage and handling, all this comes under the procurement performance cycle. Under the manufacturing support cycle, the raw material that is received from the supplier or the vendor has to be stored properly. It should not get spoiled, because in case any spoilage takes place, it affects the quality of the finished goods. So it should be stored properly, it should be recovered properly, it should be received from the stores. Then other allied components that would be required for manufacturing this raw material and converting it into a finished goods, other aspects are also required. So all those things come under the receiving components. Then work in progress. See, any manufacturer does work and keeps it in half formats. Like some he would be converting it into finished goods, some he would be keeping for later, as and when the demand comes he would be giving the final touches. So all this comes under the semi-finished goods. And finally, the transfer of the finished goods. Once the goods are ready, they have to be properly packed and distributed, so that the customer receives the goods in proper intact condition. The last performance cycle is related to the physical distribution cycle. In this, what happens is, as and when the customer places an order, the order is transmitted to the warehouse, to the distribution center. Here what happens is, it's a reverse this thing. According to the customer's orders, the manufacturer processes that order, and he sees to it that according to the need of the customer, the goods are supplied to the retailers, so that he can give these products to the ultimate users or the ultimate customers. Now, logistics competency depends on three aspects. That is the company's own policies. What are the policies that the company's competitors are using? Because according to the company's competitors' policies, the company has to make changes in his marketing strategies, in his distribution strategies, in his methods of production, in the usage of technology, because ultimately the prime purpose of any business is to provide the goods and services to the customers at the right time, right place, right quantity, right price. All these things, is the 7 R's is very important, so that any company can have a competitive advantage. So always any company will focus on three aspects. That is, first is the need of the customer, then what are the competitor strategies, and the company's own value proposition, like how the company does its production activities, what are the company's USP, that is unique selling proposition, what unique thing the company is doing, so that it stands out as it has a competitive edge in the market. All these things lead to logistics competency. Now, in this unit, you also have a chapter called as supply chain management. First, I told you all these aspects, earlier aspects that I told you was related to the logistics management, introduction to logistics management. This chapter also has supply chain management. So here I have tried to give you the brief distinction between logistics and supply chain management. See, logistics primarily involves all the movement of materials from the production unit, within the production unit, and the shipment of the finished goods to the ultimate customer. And supply chain is a link that acts the business process. So the better the supply chain, the maximum competitive advantage a company will have. So logistics primarily focuses on meeting the customer requirements, and supply chain is a new concept. It is a broad concept, and it focuses more on gaining competitive advantage. So logistics, only one aspect is covered, that is movement of materials, whereas supply chain is covered with different aspects, that is, it is a broader concept. It involves the flow of goods, services, and the flow of information, and also the flow of cash. In logistics, there is no flow of cash. It only involves two areas, that is the flow of goods and services and the flow of information. Whereas in supply chain, there is flow of cash also, because what happens is the retailers, when they place an order, they have to pay certain advance money to the wholesaler. The wholesaler in return will pay certain deposit money or advance money to the distributor. The distributor will have to pay certain amount of money to the manufacturer, to carrier. So there is a flow of money also that takes place. So that's why we say there is flow of three things in supply chain: goods and services, flow of information, and cash flow. Now, who are the different participants of supply chain? They basically are the suppliers. Suppliers are who? They are the vendors. Vendors मतलब जो raw material देते हैं. They provide the raw material to the manufacturers. Then the manufacturer is there. Then the distributors are there. From the manufacturer, different distributors, wholesalers are involved. Dealers are involved. Sub dealers are involved. Dealers जैसे कि हम लोग के vehicles, automobiles में वगैरह there are dealers होते हैं. Then there are retailers. Depending on the type of product, like FMCG products रहेंगे तो उसमें supply chain participants ज़्यादा रहेंगे. जहाँ पे जो products ज़्यादा ये होते हैं, जल्दी perishable वगैरह होते हैं, so the supply chain is kept limited. It depends on the type of the product, the technology that is required for manufacturing that product, the perishability of the product, so many other factors, the nature of the goods. All these factors determine the number of participants in a supply chain. Now again, what are the different objectives of supply chain? Basically to provide service to the customers, gain and competitive advantage, जितना हो सके time minimization करना है, there should be maximum revenue generated. So all these aspects get covered under the supply chain. Other aspect that is important is the customer service. Now what is customer service? It is basically concerned with taking care of what your customer wants. So it encompasses of all the activities that are designed to enhance customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction, customer delight means the happy your customers are, the better competitive advantage you have in the market. How we know? Most of the products we know by their brand names. So people recognize products through their brands. So this is the competitive advantage that the customers have gained. This is the competitive advantage that the companies have gained over a number of years, and they have always tried to bring variations in their products so that the customer accepts them, the customers use them, and when the customers use them, they recommend the product to others. So customer service is an integral part for any organization to survive in the market. So customer service, again, it involves different aspects like dealing with the customer complaints, increasing the loyalty of the customer, जितना जल्दी हो सके perfect order processing होना चाहिए, maximum customers को products provide करके देने चाहिए, जिससे कि क्या होगा, market share, हमारे जितने variations of products आप customers को provide करोगे, उतना आपका visibility in the market would increase. So all these aspects get covered under the objectives of customer service. Now customer service again is divided into three essential elements. The first is called as the pre-transaction elements. In this, the company's policies, what are the skills and knowledge that that employee should have. If you want to give best services to your customer, what are things an organization, from an organization's perspective, what are the things the organization needs to take care of, are covered under the pre-transaction elements. During the transaction, the availability of the product, what are the status of the information should be available. In case if the particular product is not there, देयर शुड बी सम सब्स्टिट्यूट अवेलेबल. लाइक आप कभी शॉप में भी जाते हो तो क्या करते हो, वहां पे आपके दिमाग में कोई एक पर्टिकुलर आपको एक कपड़ा लेना था, बट यू डोंट फाइंड दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट कि वो कपड़ा जो चाहिए था वो आपको नहीं मिलता है. तो तब आप क्या करते हो, आप बोलते हो कि इसके जैसा कुछ ऑल्टरनेटिव आपके पास है क्या. अगर वो शॉपकीपर के पास ऑल्टरनेटिव अवेलेबल होता है तो वो आपको वो बताता है, उसमें से ही आपको कुछ अच्छा लगता है और आप उसको खरीद भी लेते हो. सो ऑलवेज द शॉपकीपर कीप सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट्स अवेलेबल विथ हिम. सिमिलरली प्राइसिंग में भी एवरीवन कैन नॉट अफोर्ड द सेम टाइप ऑफ प्राइसिंग. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द नीड ऑफ द कस्टमर, products need to be priced under different categories so that substitutes are available to the customers. And the post transaction elements जो होते हैं, इसमें कस्टमर कंप्लेंट्स को रिजॉल्व कितना जल्दी किया जाता है, आप आफ्टर सेल सर्विसेज क्या क्या देते हो, गारंटीज, वारंटीज कवर जो होता है, ऑल दिस कम्स अंडर द पोस्ट ट्रांजैक्शन एलिमेंट्स. देयर आर 7 R's इन कस्टमर सर्विस. बहुत पहले ही मैंने आपको बताया है, दैट इज making the right product available to the customer in right quantity, right quality, right time, right condition यानी quality, then right place, right to the right customer also. जिसको जरूरत है उसी कस्टमर के पास वो प्रोडक्ट जाना चाहिए, जिसको जरूरत नहीं है वहां पे वो प्रोडक्ट अगर गया तो then it is of no use, and at the right price also. So the competitive pricing is also that much important. So all these 7 R's complete the customer service के 7 R's इसको कहा जाता है. Now there are certain common causes because of which failure takes place. Perfect order processing में failure आ सकता है. Now what is perfect order? Perfect order यानी it is basically that from the time an order is received till the time the order is delivered to the वो particular order process जो किया जाता है, इसको हम perfect order बोलते हैं. So many times errors takes place, like गलत entry ही हो गया है, order लेते वक्त ही गलती किया गया है, या फिर sometimes invoicing wrong invoices कर देते हैं, sometimes रॉ मटेरियल लेट अराइवल होता है, पेमेंट प्रोसेसिंग में लेट होते हैं, कभी कभी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन अवेलेबल नहीं होता है, फिनिश गुड्स बन के रेडी है बट पिकिंग लेट हुआ है, लेट शिपमेंट हुआ है, कभी कभी डैमेज्ड शिपमेंट होता है. सो दिस विल ऑल लीड टू फेलियर इन योर परफेक्ट ऑर्डर. And the last topic that you have in your unit 4 is the demand forecasting. Now what is forecasting? Forecasting is basically we are predicting about the future needs. So business situations के हिसाब से forecasting की जाती है. जैसे कि कोई सीजनल, बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स ऐसे होते हैं सीजनल प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, और कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो साल भर लगते हैं. जैसे कि एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्ट्स है, अब ये सीजनल प्रोडक्ट है, ये आके इसकी कंजम्पशन साल भर होती है बट इसका मैन्युफैक्चर पर्टिकुलर सीजन में ही होता है. तो इधर फोरकास्टिंग की जरूरत होती है. अकॉर्डिंग टू द मार्केट रिक्वायरमेंट ये प्रोडक्ट को प्रॉपरली स्टोरेज करके रखना पड़ता है क्योंकि इसको साल भर यूज करना है. सिमिलरली कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो ओनली पर्टिकुलर सीजन में, जैसे कि अम्ब्रेलास हो गया, ये पर्टिकुलर रेनी सीजन में ही यूज होता है. तो इसका कैसे, इसका प्रोडक्शन हो सकता, इसका प्रोडक्शन साल भर करके रखते हैं और फिर उसको सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर सीजन में यूज किया जाता है. तो ऑल दिस एस्पेक्ट्स गेट कवर्ड अंडर द डिमांड फोरकास्टिंग. हम इसको फोरकास्टिंग यानी हम प्रेडिक्टिंग अबाउट द फ्यूचर, हम उसके हिसाब से मैन्युफैक्चरर जो होते हैं एंड द पार्टिसिपेंट्स इन द सप्लाई चेन जो होते हैं वो अपने पास स्टॉकिंग करके रखते हैं. तो इससे फायदा क्या होता है, तो फर्स्ट थिंग इज सेल्स प्लानिंग करने में, प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग करने में, then to purchase adequate raw materials, then inventory cost को कम करके रखने में, and then warehousing cost को जितना कम कर सकते हैं, ये सब aspects को cover ये demand forecasting में focus किया जाता है जिससे कि हमारा cost कम हो सके. Now there are different approaches, like कभी कभी क्या होता है, हेड ऑफिस आके अपने जितने भी रीजनल यूनिट्स होते हैं उनके पास से हर एक सेल्स पर्सन का या हर एक यूनिट का ये लेते हैं, अंदाज लेते हैं, फोरकास्ट लेते हैं और एक कॉमन फोरकास्टिंग बनाया जाता है. सो देयर आर टू बेसिकली अप्रोचेस, टॉप डाउन अप्रोच एंड बॉटम अप अप्रोच. टॉप डाउन अप्रोच में एक पर्टिकुलर हेड ऑफिस आके डिसाइड करेगा कि हर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेंटर कितना कितना उनको स्टॉक मिलेगा, कितना कितना यूनिट्स उनको सेल करना है करके. एंड बॉटम अप्रोच में क्या होगा, हर एक यूनिट अपना अपना रिक्वायरमेंट बताएगा, उस हिसाब से हेड ऑफिस जो होते हैं वो अपने स्टॉक फिर फाइनल एक बना के मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट में उस हिसाब से उतना यूनिट्स क्रिएट किया जाएगा और फिर उसको डिवाइड किया जाएगा. देयर आर डिफरेंट मेथड्स ऑफ फोरकास्टिंग. क्वालिटेटिव मेथड्स होते हैं, क्वांटिटेटिव मेथड्स होते हैं. क्वालिटेटिव मेथड्स में बेसिकली नॉन स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड्स जैसे कि जूरी सिस्टम हो गया या डेल्फी मेथड्स हो गया, इसको यूज किया जाता है. एंड क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स में ऑल द स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड्स जैसे कि रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस किया या टाइम सीरीज किया या मूविंग एवरेजेस किए या बैरोमेट्रिक टेक्निक्स है, ऐसे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स को, स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड्स को यूज किया जाता है एंड फोरकास्टिंग की जाती है. मतलब यहाँ पे हम स्टैटिस्टिक्स, मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशंस करते हैं एंड फोरकास्टिंग किया जाता है कि आगे का डिमांड बेस्ड ऑन द पास्ट हिस्टोरिकल डेटा के बेस पे आगे का फ्यूचर का डेटा कितना हो सकता है, इसका एक अंदाज अनुमान लगाया जाता है. सो बेसिकली टुडे इन दिस लेक्चर आई हैव ट्राइड टू summarize all the contents that are covered in your first module, first unit of logistics and supply chain management. So stay connected so that in the next lecture, next module, I'll explain the other contents of the second unit. Thank you.